Good evening. So this Saturday, January 31st, New Zealand finds itself watching another moment of tension unfold. A planned protest, heavy policing, strong emotions. And beneath all of it, a much deeper question we've been circling for years, but rarely naming out loud. What does it actually mean to belong in New Zealand today? This episode isn't about taking sides. It's about slowing the conversation down before it hardens into something we can't undo. Over the past few weeks, several Sikh religious processions, peaceful, lawful, long-established events, have been disrupted by protesters linked to Brian Tamaki and associated movements. Those confrontations, combined with a large protest planned for Auckland this weekend, have escalated public anxiety, particularly within Indian and Sikh communities. At the same time, political rhetoric around immigration, population growth, and the India trade deal has intensified. Migration numbers are high. Infrastructure is stretched. Housing, health, and social trust are under pressure. So what we're seeing isn't one issue. It's multiple unresolved tensions colliding at once. Before we go any further, something important needs to be said. This episode is not about attacking Brian Tamaki personally. It's not about mocking him, demonizing him, or dismissing him as a caricature. He is a pastor. He leads a large church. And like it or not, Destiny Church represents a significant number of New Zealanders. I don't know his personal circumstances. I don't know what pressures he or his congregation are under, and I'm very aware that the media has not been kind to him, often reducing complex concerns into sound bites and controversy. So we should ask a fair question. If you are leading a community and you believe their concerns are not being heard, if the media is hostile or dismissive, what avenues of discourse are actually left to you? Should a leader sit quietly while their people want to object? You don't have to agree with the methods to recognize the human reality underneath them. This isn't about endorsement. It's about understanding why people feel driven to the edges of discourse. And yes, there's a serious conversation to be had about who should be platformed and how, but that's a different episode for another time. Let's be honest, because honesty matters here. Some of the statistics being shared about migration levels are real. New Zealand is experiencing rapid population change, and for a small country, pace matters. It is not racist to ask, can our infrastructure keep up? Can our social cohesion keep up? Do we have clear expectations about integration? Those are legitimate national questions. But here's the line that cannot be crossed. When concern about policy turns into harassment of communities, when people practice their faith peacefully are treated as threats, the conversation stops being about New Zealand's future and starts damaging it. For Indian and Sikh New Zealanders, this moment feels deeply unsettling. Many are not new arrivals. They're business owners, healthcare workers, truck drivers, students, parents, volunteers. They kept food moving during lockdowns. They fed neighbors when supply chains broke. They spoke up quietly without demanding applause. So when cultural expression is framed as invasion, or loyalty is questioned based on appearance of faith, it cuts deep. Because most migrants don't come here to replace New Zealand. They came here because they believed in it. This is where language matters. Assimilation says, erase who you were to be accepted. Integration says, bring who you are and commit to the place you now call home. Integration means respecting local laws and customs, participating in civic life, learning the cultural story of New Zealand. And when tensions arise, choosing New Zealand's well-being over overseas allegiances. Because if New Zealand is just a base, not a home, then yes, you're closer to an expat than an immigrant. And that's a hard truth for everyone, not just migrants. But here's the uncomfortable mirror we don't hold up enough. If a country doesn't know who it is, if it's embarrassed by its own culture, if it won't articulate what it stands for, then how can it expect newcomers to integrate into something undefined? Pride isn't arrogance. Confidence isn't exclusion. A strong national identity doesn't fear diversity, it sets the tone for it. This is where third culture fits. Not by pretending differences don't matter, not by forcing harmony, but by recognizing that a healthy society needs a confident cultural core, clear civic expectations, and a space for multiple identities to grow within shared responsibility. Belonging isn't automatic. It's built through contribution, commitment, and care. And intimidation from any side poisons that process. If we're serious about the future, here are 3 things that matter more than shouting. 1. Clear integration pathways, not vague goodwill. 2. Civic education for everyone, migrants and locals. 3. Shared spaces for story and dialogue, not social media pylons. Not debates, not culture wars, human encounters. You can question immigration settings without hating migrants. You can criticize protest methods without demonizing people. You can protect New Zealand's culture without demeaning others. That's the conversation worth having. Not because it's easy, but because the alternative is a future shaped by fear instead of responsibility. This is third culture. This is where dialogue still matters.